Hey everyone. Okay, so I think I'm going to start this review by getting this out of the way. Drunken Kaido is hilarious, but also kind of low-key terrifying to me as well. And part of that has to do with his first major appearance in Wano when he first showed up in his dragon form. Like, that was one of the moments that truly terrified me in One Piece. And part of that was because it showed the kind of destruction Kaido's capable of even when he isn't even sober. And the fact that we could probably consider that a handicap makes the whole fight in this episode kind of all the more terrifying, because in this case the handicap seemingly kind of enhanced Kaido's strength and made him even more of a threat than he probably was before. And you obviously can tell Oda was inspired a little by the Naruto Rock Lee drunken style fight with that one, but even if it's not entirely the same. But so I guess what I'm basically saying in this short little summary is Drunk Kaido might be a little funny in the moment, but when you remember what he was like much earlier in Wano, the idea of it gets scary pretty fast. And you could say Luffy learned that firsthand from that massive Bagua hit. Although at the same time, the fact that Luffy wasn't knocked out by his attack either this time around and was still able to push back against all of Kaido's other attacks is an indicator of just how much stronger he has gotten, which in some ways, the overall fact that they're fighting at equal strength despite all this is honestly still the most terrifying thing of all. Like, how strong is Kaido and how much stronger has Luffy gotten? And Yes, I'm gonna bring this up here, so I won't have to talk about it later. But the CGI Momonosuke Dragon was definitely more jarring here than he's been in past episodes, and I think part of that is because they used they used it even in close-up shots of his hands and face, which and even though he was only on screen for a couple minutes, it still left enough of an uncanny impression. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, the CGI in this was not great. Moving on from that, though, we gotta talk about the last final minutes of the episode, where we see the Gorosei, the Five Elder Stars, overseeing the naval operations / blockade in Wano. And yeah, right here, this very moment should have been the biggest tip-off in terms of what kind of a shitstorm of a real we're going to get in the aftermath of Wano, because I know there's a history of us doubting that what Oda says about things like this is the most important arc in the story, or the story is ending at point A, B, C, whatever. But this moment in time, looking back, he was not joking about it at all. And the fact that Oda managed to do so much to kind of subtly build up to why Kaido considers Wano important, while other times maybe not so subtle about it, like in this episode with the Gorosei, it begs the question, why are they overseeing this specifically? Is it just because of Kaido, Luffy, the Gum Gum Fruit, or is there something about Wano itself they're worried about? And all that comes to a head with the arrival of Zunisha at Wano, on top of the fact that, again, the Gum Gum Fruit is known by another name, according to the Gorosei, and boy oh boy, again, let's just say from this point onwards, shit is going to continuously hit the fan without stopping, in a way where the lid has, with Zunisha's arrival, the lid's been blown wide open. And after this, like, no one is going to be able to put a stop to that train from running. And the fact that the government knows that the Gum Gum Fruit has another name, but wanted to hide that name from history, yeah, some dots are starting to connect here, because if you consider that, on top of going back to what who talked about to Jinbei about his account of the raid Shanks had done to capture in order to get a hold of the Gum Gum Fruit, and as well as Husu's just talk of like Nika the Sun God, you can definitely start to see the pieces definitely all start to fall into place of where this is headed, which is showing Toei wasn't kidding when they said to expect that reveal to happen in, I think it was 10 episodes, because with this one, it feels like it's right around the corner now, which kind of technically it is, because with this chapter, like, it adapted pretty much the entirety of chapter 137, and yeah, heads up, that's only like that's only like from 6 or 7, like from at least 6 more chapters to adapt. So yeah, we're headed there, guys. With that said, let's talk about art and animation, because once again, I'll be honest, it was pretty bog standard stuff with definitely a few standout moments, obviously. But one thing that did pop out is that once again they're kind of repeatedly using a lot of festival footage. But even within the part of the episode, I think I kind of finally got the vibe they're doing this on purpose, because I believe what they want. I believe because with this episode, we basically get the whole lantern boats thing set up, and I think what Toei wants to do is that they had to sacrifice a lot. They chose to kind of sacrifice quality of just the festival scene itself in order to make just that one scene with the lantern boats look amazing. Like, I think that's one thing on their minds, on top of the other major reveal they're prepping for as well. Like, that's pretty much but so yeah, because of that they had to do the usual shit of like save budget, cut corners, usual thing. But even beyond, so yeah, I think that's kind of what's going on here. But even beyond that, I also really like how I also really do like the moment between Hitetsu and Toko, as it is a very nice moment of how words aren't really needed to say anything, and that look on Hitetsu's face is kind of revealing in the sense where it shows he knows what he knows. It shows he knows. He basically he knows the feeling of wanting to see a lost loved one again so badly, but realistically isn't able to do so. Like, this is a man who has so many regrets. Now, again, as far as those regrets are, again, saving it for the aftermath of all this, but like, it's become even more obvious to me now who Hitetsu really is. Circling back a little to the Gorosei, though, they mentioned about how this year's Reverie has been the most cursed of all. Like, everything from Alabasta to what's going on in Wano to even the meeting itself. And just, it was all just so chaotic. And just looking back on just that little summary is kind of a hilarious understatement, as coming from the perspective of the manga reader, yeah, the Gorosei seriously underplayed how the whole thing got, how crazy the whole thing got. Like, again, let's just say it's kind of impressive how crazy Wano really got. Honestly, like, I'm not even joking. Like, Wano got like Wano, and by definition, what we'll later learn about what happened at the Reverie. Yeah, it's something. Shit went down, let's put it that way. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just shove it around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime signing off. Later, everyone.